do you want to hear my answer? Okay. So, I think the primary cause of death to Palestinians.
Hamas.
Okay. Do you want to hear the answer, or do you want to yell? Well, you don't want to hear an answer? Obviously. So the primary source of death in Palestine is the fact that Hamas has realized that there are millions and millions of useful idiots that will...
Look how he totally folds when she says, stop using that excuse. He's like, well, that's all I've got. He has to shift his weight. He has to... The look of disappointment. Damn, she didn't buy it. What am I going to say now? Look at him squirm in his seat.
Can we get security up there?
Look, and then his homeboy has to call security because he's a little bitch.
Okay. One of the most... Okay. Mostly terrorists, that's true. Okay. Look, if your argument was so strong, wouldn't you let me talk? It's so strong. It's so strong.
She's like this person is outraged by the mass graves of dead children being senselessly slaughtered, which has been enabled through the use of this CEO's technology. And he's just so butthurt that she's yelling at him. Can you just... No, but okay, but why are you yelling? It's the epitome of like when you argue with your girlfriend or your spouse or your whatever, and you're right and they're wrong, and they say, okay, but why are you yelling? That's what he just did.
It's so strong. Your argument is... Okay. That's... Thank you for... If your argument was so strong, you'd let me talk.
We just let you talk, Alex Karp. I haven't seen this part of the interview. I'm actually glad it's not just the soundbite, but also the continuing conversation. Because it's like, we just heard you. You basically said everyone that protests the genocide are useful idiots. Millions of useful idiots. That is the real culprit here. That's what's continuing the destruction of the Gaza Strip. It's actually the people outside of the Gaza Strip around the world that are protesting the senseless slaughter of innocent civilians. We heard your point, Alex Karp. And she correctly refuted it. And you're like, well, you know, why can't you let me talk? You motherfucker, you're on stage with the microphone, you little bitch. Wait, did he just lose the room? Let's see. Her voice is pitched and outraged because she's talking about the death of children. And all he can say is like, well, can't you just, like, let me talk? Pathetic. So pathetic.
It's so strong. It's so strong. It's so strong. Your argument is... Okay. That's... Thank you for...
Look at... He's like... squirming.
If your argument was so strong, you'd let me talk. If your argument was...
Oh, God. I thought maybe the audience was clapping for her, not for him, but there's just a bunch of spineless people in the audience. Of course, it's the hill and the valley for him. What's what you get. All he said was, if your argument was so strong, you'd let me talk, and then he just proceeded not to talk. He's like...
By the way, just as an ipso facto thing in my book, if you have an argument... thank you.
Ma'am, I think we've heard you. I think we've heard you.
Okay. Yeah.
I think you came to the wrong event.
Yeah, this is a pro-genocide event. We don't care. We actually cheer it on. We love the blood of dead children.
Okay. It's... Well, no, Yep.
Boo this woman. She's protesting a genocide.
How about, like, Okay.
It's all about money and power for you.
Okay, have a great day.
Okay, have a great day.
One of the most important things, first of all, I really support free speech. So the part where you get up and say what you think, I'm 100% on your side. Like, if you want to come in here and accuse us of doing bad things, regurgitate where I'm a sick, bad person who's doing it for power and I'm enjoying watching people suffer. Okay, great. I 100% support her right to say that. But the thing on our side that we have to fight for is we have to fight for a right to discuss and say our side of this or my side of this. And like one of the most important things about the book, which you may not want to read, you don't need to read, is if your argument is that strong, why will you not let the other side talk?
Look, Alex Karp is so evil, his hairline is scared of him. His hairline is running away from his head. His hair is frightened by his thoughts.
It's like, obviously, if the argument was as simple, and by the way, the pain of Palestinians is something that everybody, and anyone who dies in war.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously,
like,
people care. I care about that.
Do you really? Because you were contributing, to the functional role of carrying out the death of targeted innocent civilians.
The obvious solution to
you just struck
war
another deal with
is
Israel.
to have the West having the strongest, most precise, deadly weapons possible so that we can minimize unnecessary innocent deaths. And by the way, the primary way you minimize these deaths is you're so strong no one attacks you. And that's how you actually...
So the fact that the Palestinians are weak and vulnerable is the reason why they're getting attacked. It's really their fault. They should be stronger. What kind of victim shaming, victim blaming mentality is this? This is typical might makes right racist ideology. He'll probably devolve into explaining why the Israeli race is just superior to the Palestinians, I'm sure. But you just heard it right there. Might makes right, If the genocide of the Palestinians wasn't supposed to happen, then why is it happening? Everything that happens must be happening for a purely natural reason, okay? Survival of the fittest, like it's eat or be eaten. We're all savage barbarians, but at the same time, we're Western civilization, and we're high-minded, and we have all these ideals of equality. We've risen above being animals and having animal instincts, but also, I'm Alex Karp, and it's eat or be eaten, and it's survival of the fittest, and it's like we're here to dominate and everyone over, But also we're the torchbearers of Western civilization and all these great ideals about humanity that we champion. You have to, once again, think you have to believe two completely contradictory statements to be true, to be someone like Alex Karp, a complete walking contradiction, a complete hypocrite. But that's pretty gross, right? What he just said? I mean, it's not just me, right? He said, if you were so strong, then people wouldn't attack you. So, again, think about Jeffrey Epstein's victims. They were begging for it. They were asking for it. If only those victims of Jeffrey Epstein were strong, they wouldn't have been attacked. They wouldn't have been manipulated to be lured into this trap, right? Apply that across the board. Slaves deserved their subjugation. If they didn't, then why did it happen? They should have been stronger. You can say that, but then you don't get to say that you are the champion of morality, or you don't get to say anything else except that you're a barbarous human being. The language of a bully, essentially.
We do it. Now, there are many sides to this debate. One of the things that's really frustrating in the West, honestly, is I kind of call it, I spent a lot of my life in Germany. I'm kind of pro-German culture, especially where it actually works, which you could argue in many ways it's not. But
judging by everything else you're saying, what German period were you especially fond of? Was it like Germany 1930s? Is that what you're saying? I think this is where he goes on to say the West has gotten really too woke, The West is just too weak. It's too woke. We've got all this. Alex Karp is tired of having to skirt around the obvious truth about his worldview, his racist worldview. He hates that he has to sugarcoat these things. He's tired of having to be all woke. He just wants to be the fascist thing that he is and not have to apologize for it.
But it's like what I would call, probably incorrectly, the greenification of our society, which is we kind of all support something like climate. I think most people support regulated immigration. You have 20% of your society in Germany who are just radical to the point where the ideas make no sense, but they 100% believe, and then they end up controlling the policies of the whole society.
That would be people like you, Alex Karp, in American society. It's not the top 20%, it's the top 1%. And then really it's the top fraction of 1% who control public policy. Just marvel at the sheer irony, the palpable irony that is emanating from Alex Karp right now. He is a billionaire capitalist living in American society, and he's decrying a German society in which you have the upper class controlling public policy. It's exactly what he represents in American society. He's a culpable actor in this. The call is coming from inside the house, Alex Karp.
And the responsibility we have who want pragmatic, real-world solutions, like, of course, wars lead to innocent deaths. What do you do to minimize the death? Why did October 7th also include how were there security lapses? These are really important.
Security lapses? Why was there an apartheid wall on October 7th? Why was there an apartheid state on October 6th? Why was there the unlawful and illegal occupation of the Gaza Strip and the West Bank in what is known and internationally condemned as the occupied Palestinian territories perpetrated by Israel? Why was there on October 7th the denial of Palestinian human rights, the right to self-determine? Why were they enclosed in a concentration camp under starving conditions where the life expectancy plummeted and the living conditions plummeted? Why was it one of the worst humanitarian crises on Earth before October 7th? Why was 2023 being reported by international institutions as the deadliest year for Palestinians at the hands of the IDF? And you're worried about a security lapse in the Israeli state because they couldn't keep their slaves behind the apartheid wall? Give me a break. So disgusting, man. He would never be in the room with me. I would love to sit down Alex Karp and have the cameras on and just tear him to shreds, because he just represents the worst in humans.
By the way, it's not that there's not anything legitimate in what they're saying. It's like they take it to an extreme where it's obviously absurd. And by the way...
God, yes, it's the extreme rhetoric of the people condemning and protesting a genocide. It's never the genocide that's extreme. It's never what Palantir is doing, which is supplying AI-generated kill lists and operational planning to a country that is committing war crimes, which is illegal under U.S. and international laws for Palantir to do so. But we in this liberal democracy are made to believe that Alex Karp is right and international laws and institutions are wrong. The international institutions and universal world consensus is the rogue thing here. Alex Karp represents the status quo, which is anything but. I mean, these are rogue people. He is the thing that he decries about the world. You cannot separate someone from their class. You cannot separate someone's ideas from their class. And Alex Karp represents a different class of people. And that class of people are directly antagonistic to the entire world, virtually, but the majority of the world, certainly, in terms of the global population, absolutely. He is speaking out of his own economic interests. He's speaking out of his own obviously, but he's speaking as a promoter of his economic class. So that's why, apartheid and occupation, settler colonialism fit really nicely into capitalists like Alex Karp's philosophy.
I believe she believes I'm evil. I believe she's an unwitting product of an evil force, Hamas. That she
There it is. Condemn Hamas.
unwittingly is part of their strategy. That she is a product. And the most important thing, arguably, in the book, or what Palantir, or what you could learn, is do not become a product of an ideology that sounds sensible. Because the minute you become a product of that ideology, you'll be weaponized. And like the consumer internet version is we become more divided and less smart and less happy.
Don't become a product of an ideology that sounds sensible. So let's take the positive inverse of that statement, which is become a product of an ideology that is not sensible. That sounds about right on the nose for someone like Alex Karp. That's actually pretty truthful coming from him. Isn't Alex Karp also a product of an ideology? Apparently not. Apparently he has no ideology. His ideology is just, I don't know, laws of human nature. He just represents the course of human history. Yeah, he really is a dumbass, don't you? I mean, I did see that part, that last little statement he makes, but all the other stuff, like, that was all new to me. Alex Karp's ideology is destroying humans to make money. Exactly. It's an ideology of exploitation. Alex Karp's ideology is capitalism. You know? Capitalism does not sound sensible to the majority of people and to the world. But, so he fits nicely with his own advice. He is a product of an ideology that sounds not sensible. And he's telling you, don't become a product of an ideology that sounds sensible.
And the political version of it is you won't let anyone provide a different opinion because, of course, that person has to be evil. And the opinion that is actual.
Yeah, don't look. Hitler wasn't evil. Murdering children isn't evil, okay? You know? Stop trying to frame it as if, like, what we're doing is morally, you know, compromised. Like, how dare you suggest that we shouldn't be using our technology to mass slaughter children? That's what we do. We're a death tech firm, okay? We're a necro tech firm. And Yisrael Chai, stop noticing. And that's another great point. She was forcibly removed. So there's one person that was taken away, handled off by security. But he's saying, don't silence people. He was triggered. Yeah, definitely. He's triggered as fuck. He's not smart enough to realize how much he fucked up by admitting that his actions have enabled genocide. He's therefore culpable under international law. And that's why Albanese put it in the report. Well, good, you know? I mean, all this shit, you play it back for these people later on when they're sitting in front of a tribunal. God willing.